What if the fate of this Lakers season, and maybe the next dynasty, isn't etched in the star power of LeBron or the thunderous dunks of a D, but instead hinges on an under-the-radar player slipping quietly through the cracks of other teams' ambitions? What if the subtle chess moves in these next few days hold the key to whether this purple and gold ship finally finds safer shores or if it drifts deeper into stormy waters? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Now, buckle up, because some seismic shifts are brewing in the shadows of Rob Pelinka's front office. And trust me, this isn't just another routine roster update. No, this could be the steel that alters the Lakers' trajectory in ways few saw coming. The Lakers, always desperate for reliable, gritty contributors off the bench, those glue guys who tip the scales when the chips are down, have found themselves linked to a name that's making waves quietly: Ryan Rollins. Yes, you heard me. Right. Ryan Rollins, a name slipping under most radars, but listen closely, because this could be the disruptive acquisition nobody anticipated. New reports from Evan Sider have confirmed that not just the Lakers, but also the Bucks, Spurs, Suns, and Trailblazers are circling Rollins, signaling a wide interest in this young guard coming off his first substantial season with Milwaukee. Now, for those who haven't watched a ton of Bucks basketball, or maybe brush this guy off as just another journeyman, let me paint the picture. Rollins, at 23 years old, exploded quietly in a difficult Bucks environment last year, carving out valuable minutes amid chaos and uncertainty. He averaged 6.2 points per game, yes, that's modest, but the deeper story is in his remarkable efficiency and defensive versatility. In 19 starts, he put up 10 points on nearly 50% shooting from the field and, get this, a stunning 45% from three, a killer stat that screams potential in this Lakers system that desperately craves shooting and perimeter defense. He's 6'3", with a 6'10" wingspan length that turns him into a nightmare on the ball and a pest at the passing lanes. Watching him is watching an archetype of the two-way guard modern NBA coaches dream of. Someone who can smother opposing ball handlers while knocking down the triple at a clip that rivals some veterans. This is not just a bench warm-up. This is an intriguing puzzle piece that could tinker the Lakers' second unit from mediocre to dangerous overnight. And what's even more tantalizing is the backstory last season in Milwaukee. Rollins was effectively playing backup to Damian Lillard. When Dame went down in the playoffs, this kid didn't just fill a roster spot, he seized the moment. Bucks fans who watched closely saw flashes of a player who could handle pressure and make impact plays, all while barely entering his prime. Yet, in an odd twist of fate, the Bucks might not retain him, something many didn't see coming. Here's where Pelinka's shrewdness could shine. At a minimal cost and with huge upside, Rollins represents what we might call a moneyball coup, a chance to snag a young, hungry talent who thrives in high motor, high IQ basketball systems. The Lakers' backup point guard situation has been a sore spot. Gabe Vincent, despite flashes, hasn't consistently delivered, while Jordan Goodwin more naturally slots at the two. Could Rollins not just compete but outshine them? The whispers suggest so. Despite being just 23, Rollins brings defense that could lock down wings and point guards alike, pair with shooting touch that opens up space for LeBron and AD to operate. Imagine him developing under the mentorship of Luka Doncic's off-ball brilliance, or maybe honing his craft, alongside the ever-hustling Austin Reeves on the wing. There's tantalizing chemistry brewing here, an unsung backcourt pairing that could quiet doubters and ignite the second unit. But this isn't just about skill sets or fit. It's about timing. The Lakers, caught between the familiar yet flawed veteran backups and the relentless need to push forward, may have found a rare gem buried in this year's free agency treasure trove. And the ripple effects? Massive. Signing Rollins might alter how the Lakers approach rotations, how they manage minutes for their star players, how they strategize third-string center minutes rumors, also swirling around Maxi Kleber's unexpected rise to that role. Pelinka's canvas is becoming clearer. A lockdown starting five, a fluid yet dangerous bench, defensive-minded wings on the horizon, possibly an Andrew Wiggins trade still in play and nestled. Subtly in all this is the quiet potential of Ryan Rollins stepping up as the dark horse. But hold on, because while we're dreaming big about what this move could mean, the swirling trade rumors about King James himself pivot the emotional compass sharply. Jake Fisher, one of the most credible voices in this swirling media fog, dropped a bombshell that might calm some nerves and ignite others. The chances of LeBron being traded from LA are slim to none marginal at best. In a summer of hyperbole and speculation, that line alone reshapes narratives. Is it a vote of confidence from the front office, a sign of stability amidst the chaos, or simply a pause before another storm? For a franchise that's lived through decades of rebuilds, championship droughts, and false dawns, this whisper carries weight, a reminder that sometimes the most important battles aren't waged on the court, but behind the scenes in boardrooms and whispered conversations. So, here we are. The Lakers, with their eyes on legacy but feet still searching for the perfect supporting cast, have a chance to snatch a young, defensively gifted shooter who might just be the missing link to the bench's puzzle. But can Pelinka's gambit pay off? Will Ryan Rollins, the underdog with a nearly 6'10" wingspan and a 45% three-point shooting stroke, become the catalyst that transforms the Lakers' second unit from a liability to a weapon? Can this pickup quietly fuel a renaissance, or is it merely a drop in the bucket, a desperate attempt to patch holes that keep leaking? As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel the buzz of hope tinted with that familiar dread, because every potential steal in this league comes with risks. Every reported interest masks deeper strategy, and every young prospect carries the weight of shattered dreams and soaring expectations. This franchise has weathered storms before, clawed back from despair, but also stumbled painfully on the edge of greatness. So as the days tick by and Pelinka's plans unfold, will Ryan Rollins be the silent architect of a new Lakers era, or just another name destined to fade in the shadows of the Staples Center? So, is this the start of a new empire? Or the beginning of our unraveling? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading every one. Listen, if you're still breathing after all that, you better be ready to scream, because this isn't some casual, off-season chatter. This is the kind of post-pounder news that can either revive a franchise or rip its soul apart right in front of us. The Lakers haven't been through a summer like this in a decade, maybe more. It's like history is snarling at us from the sidelines, reminding us of all we've seen and felt, the dizzying heights of Showtime in the 80s when Magic and Kareem spun the hardwood into pure magic, the relentless grind and glory of the early 2000s three-peat with Kobe's Mamba mentality burning so bright it scorched opponents, then the bitter taste of near misses and heartbreaks post-Kobe, before the bubble banner of 2020 finally crowned this chaotic saga with sweet vindication. But it's that post-title decline, that teetering edge we live on now, with the weight of stars aging, the front office wrestling with trust and timing, and the fan base caught in a whirlwind of hope, frustration, and ferocious loyalty. That's the emotional backdrop against which Ryan Rollins' story unfolds. Because every move, every whisper from Rob Pelinka's office feels like a gamble on that thin line between legacy and oblivion. And don't get me wrong, this Rollins scoop isn't just about bench minutes or a new shooting option. It's a seismic shift that could decide if LeBron's twilight years end with a bang or a whimper. You've got to think about the pressure on Bron right now, a man literally carrying the aspirations of generations, a living legend whose career has been threaded with championship runs, MVP honors, and moments that will echo in basketball lore forever. But the clock ticks, the knees creak, and the load never lightens. If Rollins can step in as a reliable two-way presence, giving a D some breathing room, preserving precious energy for crunch time, and helping the team stay competitive for 48 minutes instead of fading fast, that's not just roster depth, that's grace from the basketball gods. And on the flip side, what about Anthony Davis? The big man who has given everything, who's battled injury demons and fluctuated between dominance and despair. This kind of signing might just be the lifeline. He needs to rediscover that unstoppable force we all fell in love with. But what if Rollins can do more? What if this kid doesn't just fill a roster spot, but becomes the spark that lights a fire under guys like Austin Reeves, whose relentless hustle and heart have made him a fan favorite and a symbol of Lakers grit? Imagine the chemistry brewing. With Reeves on the wing, Rollins sliding into the backcourt, LeBron orchestrating with his unparalleled basketball mind. Suddenly this bench isn't a graveyard. It's a furnace. But hey, the stakes don't stop there. What does this mean for Bronny? LeBron James Jr., watching his father's legend unfold on and off the court, carving his own path in this pressure cooker spotlight we all know too well. Could Rollins become the type of teammate and mentor who helps set the stage for the next generation of Lakers royalty? Or is this just the latest in a revolving door that leaves Bronny navigating a fractured and uncertain franchise landscape? Now zoom out. The whole Western Conference is watching, licking their chops, and plotting counter moves like grandmasters ready to strike. The Warriors, ever the dynasty vultures, didn't become dynasty kings by sleeping on Lakers' missteps. If Los Angeles can pull this underdog out of nowhere, build depth, sharpen defense, and finally solve the bench woes that have haunted them like a curse, suddenly Golden State's grasp on the West starts to feel that tremor, that new threat, lurking in the shadows. Denver's young guns and Phoenix's fire starters are itching to pounce on any sign of weakness, waiting for the Lakers to stumble so they can sprint past. The Clippers, with their own rebuilding drama, will smell opportunity if L.A. ship. Wobbles, this is chess played on a battlefield, not just magic on the hardwood. But the sheer weight of history lays heavy on every decision. Remember the heartbreaks, the 2013 finals collapse, the post-Kobe age of false hope, the 2019 fiasco, the agonizingly close brushes with glory that slipped through fingers like sand. Lakers fans aren't here for empty promises. We crave a legacy rekindled, a return to dominance, a season that ignites firestorms of pride in purple and gold hearts everywhere. And now, with Jeannie Buss still holding the reins, but the rumor mill's buzzing about potential new billionaire powers ready. To disrupt the imbalance, the backstage politics are as intense as anything on the court. What if a new ownership shakeup sends ripples through the culture, reshaping the Lakers' identity in ways we can't yet fathom? Could that be the catalyst for either resurrection or ruin? One thing's for sure, the team's soul is being tested, stretched across the fault lines of past glories and future possibilities. Imagine sitting courtside on a high-stakes night at Crypto.com Arena, the air thick with tension, every play amplified by the weight of history and hope. The crowd roars not just for a bucket, but for redemption, for catharsis, for meaning. And in the midst of it all, a kid like Rollins steps on the floor with a wingspan that seems to stretch over the entire arena, knocking down threes and locking down the paint like a seasoned vet, suddenly turning that roar into a righteous battle cry. But what if he doesn't? What if the kid crumbles under the pressure, weighed down by expectations heavier than LeBron's legacy? What if Pelinka's Moneyball move turns into a cautionary tale, another name to file under what might have been in the long, tumultuous Lakers saga? This is the razor's edge the franchise is walking right now, the intersection of hope and doubt, brilliance and blunder, legacy and oblivion. I feel it in my bones, the electricity of this moment. Everything is hanging by threads thinner than a hairline crack. And yet, the potential for something seismic is almost unbearable to ignore. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming: a fierce battle for identity, for respect, for survival. A young kid named Ryan Rollins stepping from obscurity to shine or shatter under the brightest spotlight in basketball. LeBron's final chapter, not written yet but burning at the edges, desperate to be legendary and not just remembered. Anthony Davis clawing back to reclaim the unstoppable force this franchise needs. And a front office caught in the crossfire. of ambition, instability, and raw desire to restore the purple and gold kingdom. Now I want to hear it from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold. Is Rollins the shot in the arm this team craves? Is the Lakers' renaissance finally flickering to life? Or are we on the brink of another heart-wrenching descent? Because this summer isn't just a season reset. It might be the defining crossroads for all we love. All we bleed for is Lakers. Fans, if you think you're ready for the ride, then strap in tight because the true drama, it's just about to explode.